everybody, and welcome to the Ripple Effect Podcast. We are so glad that you have joined us here today. My name is Daniel, and in the studio we are joined by Kelci Cundiff and Cheryl Botkins, and we're so glad that you both are here. Before we get started, and with you guys sharing what you want to share, I wanted to give an update for everybody about where the building phase is, because right now there's a lot of construction at the front and on the side, and the steel for the framing out of the build out is finally here, which is great.
Yeah.
And they're starting to put it in, and I took a picture today of, it was like 4 or 5 people in a hard hat all standing around watching one person, I don't even think that one person had a hard hat on, doing something, and I didn't know what was going on, but it looked real intense. So I don't know if the front doors will be open on Sunday. I'm not sure. I think they will be, but just be on the lookout. We'll probably send out an email either today or tomorrow and let you know what's going on, and if you can use the front doors on Sunday. But we're grateful that stuff is moving along, and that's a good thing.
It was a very pleasant surprise to come in and see metal up today.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had a meeting earlier this morning, and one of the guys came in from a different door, and I asked the other guy, I said, which door did you come in? He goes, oh, I just walked right through all the hard hats. I didn't stop for metal. So anyway, there's construction happening, and I hope this Sunday the front doors will be open, but just be on the lookout for any announcements. So, hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Glad that you're here. How are you enjoying the warmth? It's sunny out.
I was in the hammock today, just soaking it up.
I need to get a hammock. I don't have a hammock.
You need a hammock.
I need a hammock. My children would probably break the hammock if we had a hammock.
It usually becomes a ship.
Yeah.
And then, like, pirates come and somebody gets knocked off. Usually it ends in crying, but it starts nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It starts nice.
It does start nice.
It starts really relaxing for the first 2 minutes.
Well, Kelci, you're back. This is an extra episode with you. We did an episode with you, a podcast with you. I don't remember when. Do you remember when it was?
It was back in November.
It was a couple months ago. Yeah. It's been that long.
It's been a little bit.
Man.
Yeah.
Time flies by. But after that podcast, we were in this room talking about potential ministry stuff, potential like stuff that you were passionate about, how could it work with the church and different stuff. And today we have some things to announce.
Yes, I made the fateful mistake of mentioning how excited I would be to like work with people that wanted to combine health and the heart and God and the Bible, and you're like, I know the perfect person you need to talk to.
Yes.
I'm really good at volunteering people for other things.
Yes, you are.
No, what we did, we talked about some of your passions and how they could work with the church and your desire to help other people and get them connected with church world, and that has led to conversations, planning, and now we have something to announce that you are going to begin.
Yes.
And you're going to lead, and I hope you're excited about it.
Very excited.
Okay, good. So this is actually the building out there, the build out is a good example for this. Because I just think if you want to build something, like throw some stuff together, but it takes so long. Just that little build out took so long from like idea to get it done. Well, we're not done yet, but like to get it close. And so that's kind of where we've been with the planning for what we're about to announce.
Yeah.
Have I teased it long enough? I'm teasing
They're
this
on the
out.
edge of their
I'm
seat.
like
Yes.
waiting for this. Okay, so first tell me about the idea that you had, and then tell me what it's going to look like when we launch it.
Well, it was just more of a scrap of an idea because I hadn't really fleshed it out. It was something that Cheryl and I got to talking more to like start to flesh out. And honestly, the whole time I didn't think it was going to happen.
Really?
So, yeah, I was like, of course not. I was like, I'll throw something out there, but of course it's not going to happen.
Have a meeting.
Yeah, no. It was only when I was sitting down with the elders staring at me that I was like really freaked out. Like, oh my goodness, like
It's real.
I'm like, this is actually happening.
This is getting
and I
intense.
have to actually make it seem like it's really planned out right now. Like,
I've got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, it's been an idea that's been been growing, but like, and we've fleshed it out as we went along. But the heart of it starts with just like, I mean, it's even just the first commandment, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And it ties in a lot with my story and how a lot of what happens next, even like how my journey progressed even after that. Because like last time when we went over my story, it was a lot of my childhood or my teen years, but like my adulthood has been a lot of struggle with chronic health conditions and processing God in the day-to-day life when things really are hard, and how to work through fatigue or anxiety and stress, and how all those things marry together, how your health, how your mental health and your spiritual health, just like they are all interconnected. You can't pull them apart. And it's definitely been a huge part of my story to see God enter each and every single aspect of that. And so that was kind of like, I don't know, it was more just like a feeling of like, I'd like to do something kind of like this. Just kind of like, I don't know what that's going to look like, and I just kind of pushed that out there. And then Cheryl and I were able to like talk about what that would actually look like as a group.
So in your adult life, early adult life to now, you've been exploring like everything from what kinds of foods to eat, how it affects your body, stuff that probably has been lost from generation to generation about how foods work and how they interact with our bodies. And then looking at it through the lens of a Christian, of saying, God's created this world for good, and how does that connect with me and how I connect with God? And so tell me first a little bit about how long that took and why you feel in a place now where you can help somebody else.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a journey.
It's a two-parter.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get the 2 parts out. I never asked just one. I never asked just one question. Yeah. So like that journey, like you've gone through it now. I feel like I'm in a place where I can help somebody. And then tell me why this isn't just hippie mumbo jumbo that we're trying to over spiritualize things that shouldn't be over spiritualized. So
got it. Okay, 2-part. So the story actually starts right after Kyle and I got married.
Okay.
And
Kyle was the source of the problems.
Yeah, like I was fine before I met him, and then everything just fell apart. He doesn't believe me I was fine beforehand. He's just like, you've just always been broken.
Oh, no.
I got extremely sick, like right after our honeymoon. We came back and I ended up in the emergency room. They gave me rounds of antibiotics and it just destroyed my gut. And I went from being able to eat anything and not having any problems, not having allergies, not having any issues whatsoever, to suddenly being reactive and in pain to just about everything I ate. And I was just in chronic pain. And it's something that's really, really depressing if you have to deal with something every single day, even if it's something that it's not like, oh, I can't move on, I can't keep going, you can push through it. But the fact that it's every day and it's constant and there doesn't seem to be any out is really, really hard. And I went to like 5 different doctors trying to figure things out and got even more antibiotics. People just kept throwing me antibiotics and medications. I went to one doctor, which finally just kind of was a big turning point for me. She was like, here's this medication, you can be on it for the rest of your life and you'll be fine. And I'm like, I'm like 21. I was like 21 at the time.
Do I want to do that?
I should not have to be on medication for the rest of my life. And that's what really kickstarted me into looking into like, well, how does the body work? And how do we fix it? Not just like constantly deal with all the symptoms and just medicate symptoms and stuff. And like, I wanted to understand. And there was a part of me that was just like, I don't know, God created our bodies just so well, and he's got to have given us resources and to handle what we're going through, right? Like this, because there's a little bit of this idea when you're researching things and doing stuff, you have to sift through so much stuff of like people like, well, this magical cure and this supplement and that stuff and all these medications, and it can seem so daunting in the sense of like, it almost feels like a rich man's world. Like if like I couldn't be healthy.
I can't afford to be healthy.
I can't afford to be healthy because like at some point it's just like I can't.
Where does it stop?
Yeah, like I probably would. I only went to 5 doctors, but I probably would have gone to more if I had more money. Yeah, like there's only a limit to like my resources of trying to figure this out, and it took me 10 years to figure this out, and it took me a lot of research and. It wasn't until I finally came across this one, like leading researcher in gut health, and he really just light bulbs came on for me, where I was able to understand how the body worked and how much food actually plays a massive role. What you eat really is, you're made of what you eat, essentially. It's like, it's information. It's what your body uses to build yourself and to build all the components that go along with everything. And so that was really eye-opening, and that really sparked a passion for me to like research more and start educating people. I got into, kind of stumbled into being a health coach online because I shared my story, and it just really resonated with a ton of people. And so I started it was just a need that I found, like I was definitely not alone. And the more I researched it too, it was like, man, like, I mean, we're just in an epidemic of chronic health conditions, and what used to kill us was, the viruses or, sanitation and stuff like that,
sure.
and or big accidents and unsafe things. But now it's these chronic health conditions, and there's so much that can be prevented by just learning how our body works, how God made us, and even the resources He provided us with. The foods that He created and the nutrients He put into everything. It's like it gives me so much hope knowing that it's available to everybody. It's just not taught anymore, and it's something I didn't even really know, even though I would say my family is pretty health conscious and all that sort of stuff. So that's where the passion came from. And then your second part was like, why is this not? Or
before we get to the hippie part,
okay,
because I want Cheryl to share a little bit, because maybe not at the same time, but you've been on a health journey.
I have been
for a while now, because you had some chronic problems, and over the last several years you have overhauled pretty much your your whole life when it comes to eating and what you take in and how you approach different things. So what about Kelci's story here resonates with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the food, the nutrition. And, many know that I've dealt with alpha-gal. More recently, I had to have my gallbladder taken out and recovering from that surgery. In dealing with some thyroid issues, and then the lovely menopause stage of life. So yes, there's a lot of health things that have come my way, but the chronic pain that I have struggled with for many, many years, chronic fatigue, and a lot of it came down to there was a lot of power that I had within myself, and with the help and the guidance of what God has provided through nutrition. Through food, being mindful of what I'm putting into my body. That is our fuel. Food is our fuel. And I like how you're saying, and it's also information. That is so very true, because everything that we put in our body gets broken down, and our body has to process it and figure out what to do with it. And if it doesn't know what to do with it, that's when we can start to see some of these chronic conditions show up. And so, it's definitely resonate. Been walking the road for a good 10 years myself.
And literally walking many roads.
Yes, many
that's,
miles.
I know it's been a part of it.
It has been a very big part of it.
And,
getting out in nature and just hiking and letting God just bathe me in His beauty and creation.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now let's get to the hippie part, because maybe it's more guys than girl that think this way, but it's like, does it really matter? And then you get to the side of things of like you're over spiritualizing things that don't matter as much, and then you get to like hunter gatherer mindset of like, if you're starving, you're just going to eat something. So why are we even talking about this? So give me a little something about, are we over spiritualizing this? Is this just hippie talk? Have you had conversations with people that are very like skeptical about all of this? And why do you think this is something that Christians should be mindful of?
Yeah, I think a part of it is when it comes down to it is seeing, sometimes we end up seeing ourselves as like different separate boxes. I've got my health box, and I've got my mental box, and then I got my spiritual box, and I can be like super healthy in my spiritual box and not be healthy in my, you know, physical box.
Sure.
And I think my story has been kind of unique because I've really experienced how much they blend. So much, and how you think you have control over certain things and you really don't, because for me, let's just talk at like a basic level. We have this kind of understanding. We have words like hangry. I'm hangry, and so now I'm mad because I'm hungry and I need to take care of that. So there's a basic understanding of like how your body is feeling is going to affect how you are approaching the world. And there's an idea like, well, like in your anger, don't sin. So there's an aspect of like, okay, so you know, being hungry could lead you to sin. You know, like if you want to take it to that kind of extreme. So like that's a very, very simple level. Like we kind of understand that. Or if you're like really tired, you're going to be more grumpy. But at like a real biological level, I've had my health conditions lead to like actual panic, where this is not something, had nothing to do with something I was going through. I was in perfectly fine time of my life. There was nothing I was supposed to be anxious or something about, but I would have actually full-on panic attacks because my body was not well. When I had my first kid, I went through severe postpartum depression because of nutrient deficiency and loss. And it wasn't until I finally did some blood work and was like, oh, my levels are way off. Could I even function as a mom? And so it's like, it's so basic to our nature, just like real guttural experience of like, you have to be able to see that taking care of your body isn't just like something that doesn't really matter that much, because it affects your relationships. It affects how you are showing up as a mom, as a parent, as a spouse, and then also it shows up in how we relate to God. Like if I'm constantly in a state of panic, and it really warps with your idea of what's real. There was a time where I felt like I'm going legit crazy, you know, here, because I couldn't tell what was just my body reacting and what was something that was real, and trying to parse through like where was God in that, and being able to be a kind and loving person is sometimes really, really hard when you have so much going on. So I think seeing how everything intertwines and intermingles, we even kind of see this, like there's a moment that in the Bible where, you know, Jesus is right before the cross and he's crying out to God, and he's literally crying tears because of so much stress. You can see how the stress of even the Son of God was affected physically by the stress he was under. And I think you see throughout the Bible, and this is what I'm partly super, super excited about this whole group, is we're going to go through different characters in the Bible, and we're going to talk about how God met them in the season that they were at, and how he meets us both physically with care and understanding of our limited abilities, and then also emotionally of what we're needing from our hearts, of like, and showing up for us in that way, and then also spiritually from like the belief sense, to make sure that we're believing what is true and not just operating out of what is false. And so he like hits every single one of those boxes throughout the Bible whenever he's meeting with people. And I just find that just so encouraging that he understands us at such a deep level, and it's not just like oh, you should just, you know, trust me more, you know, like, or like kind of berate you for like, you know, I felt God's gentleness with me when I was going through so many health issues, and understanding like how hard that is, you know, rather than just being berated that, you know, maybe I just didn't have enough faith or didn't trust him enough, or, you know, I should just do better. You know, like I think sometimes we try and willpower it through, like we should just be able to do better. And I think God's compassion and kindness shows up when he, in understanding how human we are,
Yeah.
you know, that we don't have endless capacity.
Well, I think that's interesting because like there's debates of is a person body, soul, spirit, are you just a body and a spirit, are those the same things? But one thing that is never questioned is you have a body,
Right.
and that body is created by God and something that you have to take care of. And all throughout Scripture, God meets people and is mostly concerned with their spirit, but he also takes care of their body. You know, he's like, Elijah, you need to take a nap and you need to eat some food. You need some rest. You need time away. You need to have a moment of relief or whatever it might be. So it's interesting to me that also one of the deadly sins that's listed in the Bible, some of them directly connect to your physical body, gluttony being one of them.
Yeah.
And we often skip over some of those and we just want to get to the more spiritual sounding ones. But yeah, there's the self-control has many different aspects, including your body, what you allow yourself to take in. So we know that it definitely affects, and it's not just a physical thing, because sometimes we treat our body as just a vessel that's just to get us from point A to point B. But it definitely is intertwined with everything that we are and what we do.
If I could interject too, because I want to say like the extreme is not healthy, and because I do want to point out that there's a huge movement of people that are just like biohacking, and it's all about like living forever and being like at peak health and and it's like I think there's a worship of health too, because I'm not talking about just like, I don't want us to just be consumed with being the healthiest possible version. I just mean taking care of ourselves, like, and knowing sort of the basics of that and how to raise our children and give our children a good head start of like in their health and things like that. So like I think that you can go definitely the extreme and the other direction as well. So
yeah, and the end goal is obviously eternity with Jesus. It's not that my body lives forever. No. We know it's going to break down. Yeah. It's going to return to dust. Yes. So we know those things. So I like that you said that. So enough, you kind of teased it already. What are we starting and what's the goal?
Well, we're starting a group called Live Well, and the goal is to cover topics on how to live well in body, mind, and soul. And we're going to have some really fun activities to go along with it. So we're going to be learning, each time we'll have kind of like an activity part, and then we'll have sort of a devotional heart, soul part. So our very first meeting is going to be May 30th at 9 a.m. So here at the church building. At the church, yes. We're really excited about that. And it's going to be, like, for example, this one's going to be, we're going to build herbal first aid kits. And I'm going to show how you can actually use herbs to, heal, like, scrapes and bruises and stuff like that. And also, like, the science behind it. I'm a real science nerd. So it's like there's so much research behind it that has shown that it can be actually more effective than some of the medical approaches on stuff. So I'm gonna bring the research. I'll bring the pages and stuff for people to look over, so if people want to read the research themselves too. But we're also just gonna have fun learning about how amazing God made like weeds. Some of these like you can find literally out in the fields. Like I found them in my parents' farm, which is just blows my mind.
So I disagree strongly with that last statement.
You might have just pulled up medicine.
I was feeling healthier today, so maybe,
it actually just tickles me so much that God would freaking put, like, something medicinal just out in the fields for anybody to pull out.
Oh, that's so funny.
But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna cover just, like, the herbal aspects of it. I am currently studying herbalism, so that's partly why we're going to do that. If you come to every one for the next year, my goal is to have people have, like, an herbal medicine cabinet by the end of it. So you can, if you keep all the handouts and everything, you'll have essentially a book where you can just open that up and you can look at what the herbal options are for things. Sure. And we're not anti-medicine at all. I just want to say, like, we're not anti-medicine, but like, this is like just more knowledge, more stuff, like more options. And so that will be like the first half of the group, and then the second half we'll talk about how kind of bridge the gap with the kid. Like we'll talk about so in this one, since we're talking about injury, we're also going to talk about how God heals the heart, and we're talking about sort of the invisible injuries, and we're going to go through, I want each time to go through like an actual specific person, biblical story, because I think it's really powerful to see. Stories are the most powerful, and I think seeing ourselves in the Bible characters too, and being able to bring out our stories and their stories, and then seeing how God met them and how he's meeting us. And I think that's partly why the Bible is just full of stories, is because it's about that journey with him. It's about meeting him and seeing how he enters into our lives and our story. And it's not just like just rules or like expose on like, this is what I am like, you know. Right. It's like, you know, this is me showing you, you know, what I'm like, because I'm entering into your life and I'm showing up for you. Yeah. So it'll be kind of a 2-part thing, and that will be kind of the structure of the group.
I like it. So May
30th, 9 a.m.
Which is 9 a.m.
bright and early.
Here. How long is it going to last?
It's going to be
each time.
Yeah, we're going to kind of test it out. I honestly never. I mean, we'll have to. It's hard for me to time out how long something's going to take. I'm guessing somewhere between an hour to 2 hours of some sort. So split it down the middle, say an hour and a half.
And who's invited?
All women are invited. It's actually an all-age thing. So if like you want to even bring a daughter that's pretty interested in it, like this could be a great mother-daughter thing. I mean, we're not putting limits on, like, if you want to bring a small kid, that's fine, but it is geared towards adults. So like it's just if you think they would be interested and able to pay attention. So, but yeah, all ages are welcome, and I think that's part of the beautiful thing too. I love mixing ages. I love getting to talk about, particularly as women, I think there's something about how seasonal our life is. So to get to see women throughout all seasons talking about and processing things together, I think is always a beautiful thing. So, yeah. So
May 30th, 9 a.m. here at the church building. And then how many sessions have you planned?
Well, we're going to kind of try and plan out some things together, because I was kind of wanting to gauge some interest of like, what kind of things are you guys really wanting to learn more about? I've got massive lists of different options, and I'll bring them in, and I'll have people vote on, you know, what they're most curious about. So we can just kind of gauge. I want to like provide what people are interested in. Yeah. But then we will be going through like the individual characters of the Bible. So that's kind of set out, but we'll kind of try and partner in it. So
we're going as we go monthly.
It's monthly,
topical, and we're going to figure out what is happening each month as we go along.
We might try and figure out what the best time is for everybody too, and kind of vote on if there's like, we want it to be the last weekend of each month. So
and they'll do it at least once a month for a while. Get set.
Yeah, we'll see. That's about all I can commit to right now, and I'm sure there's many other moms that are like in the same spot where it's like, committing to something like every week or every other week is a bit much, but like once a month we can get together and make this happen.
Cheryl, I want you for a moment just to speak on the aspect of one generation sharing with another, and how many times information and, you know, advice and wisdom sometimes gets lost along the way, whether, you know, unintentionally, or maybe someone didn't have someone in their life to teach them. We know it's a very biblical concept that the older teach the younger. How have you seen that in your life? Why would that be important for us at Timberlake to be a part of sharing wisdom with each other?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, it's definitely biblical that we should be doing that. I do think our church has done a good job at embracing that idea. You know, years back, I remember helping get USGen established, which was multi-generational. And in that process, asking some of the older generation to speak into the younger generation. And there was this fear of maybe rejection, but they don't want to hear what I have to say. I've tried that. I'm not comfortable with that. So I think there is a space where some of that's been lost. We're also in an information age where we can look anything up, right? So why do I need to have those conversations or ask somebody else? And you know, older generations are like, well, they can figure it out on their own. They're not going to listen to me anyway. But I think that is so missing that social engagement, that social aspect, because like you're saying with stories, there's so much more we can share when we can connect face to face, one-on-one, and we can share our stories with other people, and then we can share some of those things that have been lost along the way.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because you're right. You can look up anything, but that doesn't actually mean what you're going to get is good. I can chat GPT a pancake recipe from scratch, but if I'm at somebody's house having the best pancakes I've ever had in my life and say, hey, how do you make this? And then they walk me through it and tell me how their mom did it, or, that changes your life. Cold information doesn't really transform your life. It's always through relationships. And I do think there's a piece of an older generation that kind of has the mindset, well, I had to figure it out, you go figure it out, which there's value in trying to figure things out. But we don't want to miss the relational piece of, like, you're not alone. And, most moms feel like they have no idea what they're doing, and that's okay. Right? That's okay.
It's okay.
Your child is alive, and that's a win. Yeah. So I do think the piece, what I'm excited about is that piece of sharing, of saying, hey, we've got some information, your story of why this matters, and maybe thinking through health and your children and what you allow them to be exposed to health-wise, what you should, maybe be cautious of. All that's going to be great, but that relational aspect of, hey, let's do this together and learn together is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think, and I was something I did. I joined the three chord of three.
3 chords.
Yes. 3 chords.
Yeah, that's the band thing.
No, I really, really enjoyed that, and I made friends. It was really fun, and I think it was something that they expressed too, of like, oh, like, I don't have any wisdom to give. Yeah, that assumption. That's something, and I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, there's something about having somebody older who's already been through life to just stand there. It's like, you don't even need to say anything, but just tell me, like, you got through it. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, just have somebody be like, it will pass. Yeah. There's a piece, I think, to age, because you've been through it, where, like, you're very anxious when you're younger because it's all new and you've never done it. And there's something that I think we long for from the older women or from the older generation. It's just the piece that carries through of, like, you know what?
You're still
here. It was, it was hard, but God got us through it, and He'll help you through it too. And I'll sort of believe that for you too. And, like, that it grounds us. It gives us a sense of peace. And it's just, like you said, sharing the stories of your life. It's not even that you have to have some sort of pearl of wisdom, like, or something. It's just the presence and having, showing up and sharing your story that really, really impacts us youngsters. It just, nobody wants to feel alone, and everybody is scared that it's actually going to break them, or that it's going to last forever, or so we all have some of the same fears and stuff, and just having somebody who's a little bit further down the line going, like, man, I was really scared like that too, and somehow I'm still here. So, like,
somehow.
Yeah.
What are you most nervous about with this?
For me, I mean, it probably goes into a lot of what we talked about last time. For me, the fears of, like, showing up in community and actually sharing stories and putting ourselves out there. There's always a risk that, you could get hurt, or you could get rejected, or, somebody doesn't like you.
I know. Tell me about it.
And not everybody is going to like you. You're not everybody's cup of tea, but, like, that's scary for me, and particularly my history of, being involved in the church and having, bad experiences and hurts within Christian community, we're not always clean cut, and sometimes that's a messy process, but I've come to a point in my life where I've really realized that I can't live without community, and I want to be a part of creating the community that I even need. I need people, and we're imperfect, and we're messy, even as Christians, and maybe especially as Christians, because we're trying to work through things together.
Because you're aware of it, I think.
Yeah, and I think even being a Christian, something about it almost invites a little bit of breaking you apart, putting you back together, and invites some of that mess, because you're not just holding it all in. You're trying to be made new. You're trying to live well, and that can be messy. Thank you for appreciating that.
What a segue. And that's when the logo is going to pop up on the screen. Live well. So May 30th, 9 a.m. here at the church. Everybody's welcome.
Please RSVP.
Is it on the app yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it live?
It's on the app. It's
Okay.
on
So
the website.
The
We would
website.
like registration because we are going to be doing activity, and so we want to make sure we have enough supplies.
Yeah, it's just
So
supplies.
It's helpful to
It's
register.
free.
You are welcome.
It is. We're asking for $4.
Yeah, it's $4 at the door to cover supplies.
Some of the supplies. Okay,
But if you
$4
cover
at
the
the
supplies.
door.
Yeah, but if that's like a barrier, don't not come
We
because
will
of
cover
that.
that, for
It's
sure.
like it's just to
Right.
try and cover supplies.
Yeah.
And like if you don't RSVP, just still come. Like maybe we don't have supplies for everybody. You can be involved. Like don't let that be a barrier. But we are asking for the RSVPs right now,
Yeah.
so I can just make sure I have enough.
Okay, so go onto the church website or your church app if you're logged in. Live Well. It's May 30th, 9 a.m. and it's going to be great. And I'm excited for you.
And bring a friend.
And bring
yes,
a friend.
bring
Yeah.
a friend.
Invite a friend with
This
you.
could be a great opportunity to bring somebody who
Yes.
doesn't normally come to church because
Yeah.
they might be a little intimidated by this, but they might come to something that's sort of wellness oriented.
Right.
And so if you have a neighbor, you have a friend, you have somebody who, it's open to everybody. So
And the goal of this, well, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but the goal of this is to help people live well. The goal is not we're trying to sell you Timberlake,
Right.
we're trying to sell you into something like...
Yeah.
The goal is just we want to give information to you that we know is going to help you and inspire you to consider, let's say, God's way of viewing your body and how you interact with it. So,
Yep.
I wanted to end with, this is like a rabbit trail, okay? Because there are some people who have passions and feel like God has put stuff on their heart and life, and maybe they have an idea for a ministry or an idea for a group or an idea for some kind of something, and they think doing it through the church would be a good option. Not every ministry has to go through the church, but this one has, and it's worked okay. So tell me what that process was like for you, in case there's someone out there that's like, hey, I'd like to do some kind of ministry or start something. What was it like for you? And
Utterly terrifying. Don't do it. No, I'm just I mean, it was scary to like put an idea out there. I think that's a kind of vulnerable thing to do. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like,
Absolutely.
oh, like, because it's like you could be rejected, but like it's worth it. Just throw it out there, And you guys were so welcoming and like it was instant. Like you were like, yes, of course. Like we're gonna talk about it, and so you guys
But there
made it
was
really
some-
seamless. And then
But there was some like steps. So,
yes,
like,
there
there
are
was the
steps.
idea. Then I connected you with Cheryl.
So that we had multiple meetings where we were talking about, we brainstormed, we talked about what we would love to do. And then we did have to, I wrote up like a proposal for it, like official, and sent it to the elders. And we had to do the elder meeting,
So
which
the
was
elders-
utterly terrifying,
the
even
elders
though
sat
they're
down
all
with
so
you,
nice.
And they were like, what is this?
They're like, yeah, we
What
don't
is
get
this?
it. No.
Yeah. But because it's a group that there's going to be Bible study, there's going to be an element of spirituality to it, which we want every group to have that here. So you did meet with them,
Yes.
and then after that, what?
What came after that?
I think somewhere in the middle of elder meetings, we also connected with the women's ministry.
Yes, we connected with the other
And-
ministries.
Yes, with the
and-
other ministries.
Like where it's going to overlap.
Mhm,
Yeah.
and where it'll fit well in
It's
the
all
church
blurring
with
Fit
other
together.
well
ministries.
and living well.
Live well.
And then once you got the green light, then it's just a matter of logistics after that.
Yeah, we filled
Planning.
out some more stuff for there was like another
Facility
Yeah.
use thing.
Phyllis. Yeah,
probably.
there was some paperwork and
Facility
some
use.
to put
And
it up
scheduling
on
with
the
Jesse.
Yeah, the scheduling
room,
side and-
yeah, the calendar.
yeah.
So I guess what I
Logistics.
wanted to highlight was if someone does have a ministry laid on their heart, sometimes it makes sense to do it outside of a church building, depending on what it is. But if it is something that makes sense to do it within the church, there is a process of idea, refine it, get approval through the elders, and then plan it. But we want to do it in a way that makes sure whatever we're putting out there with the church's name on it is done well. But we also don't want to hinder people's passions.
Right.
And I hope that we didn't hinder.
No, it
your
wasn't
passion. But that gives an idea for people who might, you know, maybe they've been thinking about something for years of like, the church should do this. And I'm grateful for you for putting the energy and effort behind actually putting some legs on this idea. So, because there's a million ideas out there. That doesn't mean anything's going to happen. So I'm really grateful that you've been making that follow through happen. So,
it's been fun.
Good. Okay. Well, May 30th, 9 a.m. is the launch point. From there, we're going to go, for this county, and then it's going to grow for the state, and then we're going to go national at some point, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to try to get your signature now before, we don't see you ever again. No, but seriously, May 30th, 9 a.m. is the start. You're welcome to join. Try to check the app or the website and get an RSVP filled out. It's just your name. I mean, it's just saying, hey, I'm going to show up. I'll be there. And $4 if you're able to do that. If not, we'll cover the cost. But we'd love to see you ladies there.
Absolutely.
All right. Any
Please
final last words?
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward. We already got quite a few signups already, so we're rocking and rolling. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be a great morning.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you all for joining us on the Ripple Effect podcast. We'll see you next time.